in here. And so that kind of led to, okay, we need to do EKGs, we need to do this, we need to do that. I said, no, we're not doing that. I said, I'm not doing what I talked to Cypher and that, and I said, look, that's just added stuff on me. That's another liability that we've got to handle. I said, I'm not doing that. So me, my athletic director, superintendent, talked to Dr. Miller, who's a sports medicine physician with Children's, and Dr. Scott, who's the head of pediatric cardiology at Children's, about what the best way to go about it. And he took Dr. Scott ended up being the treating physician on my student in that scenario. And basically, he said, what you need to do is get away from doing mass physicals. He said that's first and foremost. And the reason is, he said, we want more encouragement for them to go see someone in a controlled setting, to where you can catch a lot of these issues with the heart and that, because it is hard in a mass setting to hear, and some of our physicians will say that. And so that's one thing that's gone away from us, is we don't do those fundraisers anymore. The fundraisers we've gone to is Cincy. We sell Eagle cards with our football program. Well, the whole athletic department sells Eagle cards, which is, you get a card with all these different savings and discounts to local restaurants and stuff. But to finish up the one story on that was basically the physicians basically said, the best case scenario is to have a reactive plan to it. Have your AEDs in place and have your emergency action plan to take action. He said you can never go wrong with that, because each student, if you do EKG testing on them 1 year, they're going to change the next year. You're never going to pick them all up, until they mature in adults, and you're still no guaranteed. So we don't do physical. And let me tell you something, we made quite a bit of money off that thing too. I mean, we made $7,000 to $8,000 a year off of that. Usually what happens is we'll do our fundraisers of selling Cincy or something of that nature, and usually we'll get donations from the Touchdown Club. We'll make a donation to us or whatever.
So you guys just make a package available, or do you say you have to have this to?
We have two packages. The freshmen get one package, and in the varsity or JV at the high school level get a different package. It's usually a little more involved.
They have minimums to purchase, such as their T-shirts and their game polo, and then we have optional extra stuff to purchase, such as a bag or warm-ups or whatever. But we tell them, you have to have the game shirt, you have to have the practice shorts and T-shirts, and everything else is optional. So it's up to them on what they want to purchase after that.
And we tell them, look, if you guys want to wear warm-ups jackets for a game or whatever, you all have to match. So if one of them doesn't have it, they either got to borrow it from somebody or, you purchase it.
Chris, you have any other thoughts on the?
No, I like it. That's pretty professional looking. Real uniform. I like that.
And they have to wear khakis. That's a non-negotiable. It's khakis. The only time they get to wear the warm-ups and that is if we're doing an indoor tournament. It's all day long, and wrestling. We host a regional wrestling tournament, so we'll let them wear their warm-ups during that time. And then if it's all day long basketball tournaments or something and they're working it and they're going to be there all day, we'll let them be comfortable with that. But if it's game time or if their outdoor sport dictates that, but otherwise they're going to be in khakis and a polo.
All right. So, just recently in the last couple of years, we acquired this classroom, which is where we're doing this podcast, and I really just came in and started moving stuff around and had my class in here. And then, we got lockers for our kids from the warehouse. They were throwing them away. And there's a downstairs girls' restroom. But we have 30 kids at most, at the very most. You guys have 77 kids. How do you guys have your own student athletic trainer locker room? Do they have to use the athletic locker room? Do you have your own? Tell me how that works there.
They use their cars.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Basically, with Che has 13 freshmen over there, so they'll use the athletic.
We have a PD locker room where they have their own section of lockers that I assign to them that they use. So we're in a little bit different setting over there. because they don't quite have the access over here.
We don't have the locker space over here, and so we'll have storage space for their bags in the back. We offer to lock their stuff up in here in the office if it's valuable, something like that. They have their cars. They use the athletic locker rooms to change and whatnot, but we don't necessarily have a specific locker room. We're hoping still that maybe we can get a renovation someday for our weight room that's in here, since we have the new big weight room in our stadium that's
All cracked up.
fixed. But if that ever happens, then we have plans to hopefully put a small locker room in there for them. If anything with cubbies and stuff like that they can have their stuff in.
And here's one thing. Our school's a little different. We have 2 start times and 2 end times. Kids are very transient here. They may have 2 classes a day. It's because they may have quad C, they may be taking dual credit classes, or they just may have 2 classes and then athletic training, because we're on a modified block schedule here. Whereas athletics is outside the main 2 athletic periods. We have a first and an 8th period, and then you're blocked. You're in the center of it. So kids are coming and going. That's why I say their cars, because a lot of them will be changed and already be here and leave their stuff in their car. That's one of the things when they purchase their bags, they use them constantly. But we're not a part of the high school itself. We are not attached to it. Our field, we're across the street, literally probably about 800 yards away from there. Our students who are in the gym, who are with volleyball and basketball and that, they have places in the training room and they can go change in that and keep their bags. But over here, we don't. We basically kind of share around us. Behind us is the ice machines and our washer and dryers, and then down the sides, we've commandeered the hallway on the sides. Well, that's basically where the lockers get stuffed for players to get their practice gear. Well, there's like 400 lockers. There's maybe even 600, 300 on each side. And those aren't all being used, so we just commandeer a certain section where they can keep their practice stuff and shoes and their fanny packs and things like that in that area. But most of them, the older ones who drive, they keep their stuff in their car and they'll come here dressed, or they'll take it and put it back out in their car.
Chris?
We have a locker room. Now we have a whole lot less kids. And they have lockers in there. It's a pretty small room. They take turns, the girls and boys take turns changing clothes in there. Or we have a bathroom in the athletic training room, too. They'll change in there. Is that it? Just locker room? Where are they changing clothes? Or?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of the logistics of handling, how you manage the kids and that kind of thing. Obviously with 77 kids, it's a lot different than with 10 or 20 kids.
How do you keep all those student athletic trainers busy and not getting bored?
Well, with only having, let's see, we've got 17.
Football, going so long in football helps quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, varsity football obviously still busy. JV football right now are in their second sport. So some of them may already be with basketball and busy with those sports across the street at our gyms. Some are busy with soccer in the other periods. So they're out doing stuff for soccer and whatnot. During our 8th period athletic period with our kids that aren't in football and aren't in a sport right now, a lot of it right now is basically catching up on grades that they may not have had great success with during the football season because they've been so busy, or it's practicing various things, getting ready for the spring, getting ready for their sport in the spring, kind of just soaking up stuff just during that athletic period. So they're not in here a lot, but still helping with treatments and stuff like that, still helping, practicing taping, practicing wrappings. If we have an injury that comes in during that period, or we're treating somebody during that period, we have them help out during that time period. So we don't have all 77 in with us in this training room at one time, thank goodness. They're kind of spread out everywhere. She's got 5 of our kids over at the freshman center because our wrestling mats are over there right now since they can't be in the stadium. So she has 5 of our older kids over with her to help her out. We've got a bunch of other kids over at the gyms with Chris Brock that help out over there. So it's manageable. Sometimes it's organized chaos, but it works somehow.
I watched the video again. Was it USA Today, USA News, something like that?
Yeah, it was WFA is our local ABC channel that came out and did the story.
So again, that's pretty cool. I got a link to it in the show notes here, and it's just really cool for athletic training in general to see that kind of publicity, and then just see what you guys are doing there. It's just about the time to end. You guys have any final questions as you're considering high school as your potential career path?
No, but thank you for all the insight. It's because it'll take us
Well-
maybe a year and a half
Yeah,
left. We have a year and a half left to decide, and it sounds like the high school setting is a happy medium.
If you do work high school, one of the biggest things to work with is communication. I mean, it resolves a lot of issues, but it also helps a lot. I mean, it will help you tremendously how to communicate. It's one thing that it's not ever taught. Okay, you just pretty much have to learn it, and some people don't ever learn it.
Right.
But communication with your coaches is very, very key. And communication, we don't have to, but your students and parents, and convey it to them, and that will help you out a lot, because there are going to be some nuances you're going to deal with. You're going to have to deal with athletic insurance, so that's a little nuance that's not truly taught. But communication is very, very, very big here, whether it's through social media, whether it's through email, whether it's through just picking up the telephone. Sometimes we've gotten so big, we used to call on every injury, and we just can't do that anymore. We may send home a note with them and that and say, look, you need to come in at this time, and the kids do that. But, we relay everything to our coaches and let them know what's going on. But communication is going to be is big. Organization and communication is going to be your biggest asset.
I did have one random question. Do y'all prefer 1.5 inch or 2-inch tape when you tape?
Well, with our kids, they're smaller, so I think I prefer 1.5 inches. When I was in college working basketball, 2-inch tape for a big foot, you cover a lot of ground with that.
We used to use 2-inch. Matter of fact, I had one of the students that came out from us when Che was at North Texas. She used 2-inch tape. We used to use it quite a bit because we used to have some, I'd have 7-footer here and stuff like that, and I would keep some of it around. She almost exclusively loved 2-inch tape. But what do you do with that little girl who's got a little foot? It's hard, so you can't go exclusive with it. So pretty much the happy medium is 1.5 inch. That's what we stay with. If we're going to go any bigger, it's usually going to be in the stretch tape and that going forward. But generally 1.5 inch is what we're going to stay with.
I think, the whole segment on athletic training programs, it's a family, These kids will be with you they'll come in, they'll be with you for 4 years. They spend more time with you than their own families. They help do things in the community with us. We try to reward them. We have parties different times a year. Before school starts, we have an in-service for a week for half the day, and the other half the day we go out and go to Kima, or we go to do something fun, roller skating, bowling, whatever. In the middle of the year, we have a Christmas party. We adopt a family. We're all in this together. We're all trying to take care of our athletes. And at the end of the year, we have another party. And at one of those parties, we do have laser tag guns, by the way, that we will we'll play our rival school, Pearland, in laser tag at one of the parties. Usually before school starts, we'll go. This year we were on their campus. Last year we were on ours and compete in laser tag. So I think what I like about high school and what you can take away from this, whatever you want, but I feel like it's more of a family, and I'm the first athletic trainer most of our junior high athletes see, or parents even hear of an athletic trainer, or even some of our high school kids or parents, and I can make an impression on them that will last them, a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and we can teach these kids life lessons, whether they do athletic training or not. They're going to walk away with a strong or stronger work ethic, and they'll know how to take care of people, how to listen to people. I think awesome athletic trainers, your show segments should be. It's a family. I feel like if you can create a family atmosphere, you're going to have an awesome athletic training program.
Yeah, we like you're saying, life skills. I've never personally done CPR, but I've had 4 students, one of each of the last 4 years, perform CPR or the Heimlich maneuver, the back blows abdominal thrust, to somebody in their family, in their community. You know, some of them, they didn't make it, some of them they did, but because we taught